In this video, I use Photoshop to ruin a classic car. Or do I? I guess you'll have to watch until the end of the video to find out. So I've decided to use this photo that I took quite a long time ago. It's of this sweet looking BMW. Don't ask me what model it is. I like cars, but I don't know much about them. The first thing I'm going to do is make it so the bumper is almost scraping the ground. It actually kind of looks like it already has. So that involves cutting it out, which is always fun to watch. So I'll be right back. Now the moment of truth. If I move this down, this is definitely gonna work. Obviously, we don't want a duplicate of the car sticking out behind it, so I'm gonna have to clone stamp a lot of things out. So I'm gonna get rid of this car, the top of this car, and this car. This is gonna be a little bit tricky, so wish me luck. This was actually way more time consuming and difficult than I thought it would be. And as you can see, some stuff just does not look right. The front looks good. The middle looks pretty good. The back, let's not talk about the back. I think I'll leave it for now and hopefully we can cover it with some haze or something. Just anything that doesn't make it look like that. So I think I'm gonna add the haze now. Just hide that part in the background. We don't need to see that. A little bit over here too. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Next, why don't we turn these headlights on? To make it even more futuristic, I'm gonna make it a red neon glow. I think this will look pretty sweet. I think that's looking pretty good, so I'll just duplicate that and drag it over to the other side. To make it look even cooler, I think I'm gonna duplicate these lights. I do like this little emblem here, so I'm gonna shift it over. Hopefully, this just works. I mean, that works a little bit too well. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Again, that just kind of works. Just shift that into place, and same for the other one. And there you go, it's already looking more futuristic. Maybe not this. I'm gonna take a few steps backwards. What might look cool is if I make this front piece a little bit wider. I feel like that's a nice touch, makes it look a little bit more beefy. Just gonna shift this emblem slightly. Sorry, emblem. Yeah, I think that looks better. I know I'm tampering with a classic car, so please don't hate me in the comments. I'll just add a bit of shadow so it feels like it's attached to the car again. Perfect. Next, I think I'm going to change this number plate to a hologram. Convert this to a smart object and then transform it and change the perspective so it fits the license plate. And then when I double click on this layer, it'll bring me up into a new, oh hello Ollie, my dog's just appeared. It'll bring me into a new, he's just staring at me. What are you doing? It'll bring you into a new window where you can add anything you want and it will change it to the perspective of the actual license plate. And I'll add in this HUD element that I made a while ago. Change the blending mode of the text to overlay. Save this, go back to the original, and it's starting to look like something. I'm going to make this one a little bit bigger, just so there's less of a vignette. Duplicate that, shift it slightly, turn the opacity down, and do that one more time. I think I'll add some lines over this as well. That is a ton of layers. That's looking much more like a hologram. One of the main parts I think about when it comes to Cyberpunk is cables. Lots and lots of cables. So that's what I'm gonna do. I think these holes right here might actually provide useful slots for cables. I'll copy that somewhere around here. And another one. Shift it across. And again, just this alone looks pretty sick to me. And same for the other side. Let's see if we can slot some cables through these. Stroke path, brush tool. And there we go. To make the 3D look, I would probably do it on bevel and emboss. Yeah, that's actually looking pretty legit. So I'll just mask it out so it goes into the holes. And I'm gonna add some shadows just so it looks a little bit more realistic. Okay, sweet. Now I'm just gonna do that a few more times. And that should be the last of the cables. Now just to go back and add more shadows. Okay, I think I'll delete this one. It looks a little bit stupid in my opinion. Yeah, that looks better to me. I'm just gonna change the color of the cables because I feel like they need a little bit more character. Something else that might look cool is adding some X's over the headlights. Yeah, I think that has potential. Now to do the rest of them. That looks pretty badass in my opinion. Now to add some bevel. Yeah, that looks great. Just makes it look a bit more 3D. Okay, next thing, add some window features. And the window covers are added. They're not looking fully realistic right now, so I might come back to them later. But for now, I think I'm gonna add some body kit, maybe some side skirts. Let's see how that looks. To create the side skirts, I used the pen tool to draw a rough shape I wanted and filled it with the base color of the car. I then added another layer as a clipping mask, using the color picker and brush tool, selected the highlights and shadows from the car and painted them on to create natural looking contours in the body kit. Then, using the clone stamp tool, I copied the texture from the main car onto the side skirt, and it turned out looking pretty legit. Now let's add some texture to the car. So I'm gonna add this metal texture. Let's see what this looks like against the windows. That actually looks pretty damn good. Okay, I'm gonna do this to the rest of the car and make it look a little bit more grungy. And while we're at it, let's add some interest to the sky by adding some clouds. Many, many clouds. It might be time for the second to last step, which is adding atmosphere and glow. Very important. The license plate is a hologram, so obviously this needs some blue glow. Okay, it's getting there, but I feel like these cables still look a little bit unrealistic, so I'm gonna slap a texture over these two. I'm not sure if I like this red, burgundy, maroon. I actually have no idea what color this car is. Can someone please tell me in the comments? But I think I'm going to make it darker. From this point onwards, I kind of went into autopilot and forgot to explain what I was doing. Damn it, Emile, this is for YouTube. Luckily, only the finishing touches were left. I added dodge and burn, which entails darkening the darks and lightening the, well, lights. I then went into camera raw filter. This allows me to tweak the colors, add texture and clarity, and a bunch of other cool shit. This part brings the whole piece together. Click OK, and here we have our finished edit. And here it is. I didn't make it as futuristic as I wanted, but regardless, I still think it turned out pretty cool. Did I improve it or insult the vintage car gods? This is my first video in this style, so let me know if you enjoyed this and if you want to see more like it. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, leave a comment down below, or take it one step further and subscribe to the channel. I'll love you forever. As always, I'll see you in the next video.